Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about this would have definitely fixed my DoorDash spending habits. DoorDasher calls out customer for ordering twice in one day. So it's not too uncommon for drivers to actually see customers multiple times over a general period of time. But in this case, a driver saw that he was delivering to a customer twice in one day and pointed it out to the customer because he thought it was funny. The customer, on the other hand, didn't seem to take so kindly to that. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Perennial DoorDash users may have found a way to cure their addiction to ordering through the application so much, having the same driver call them out for multiple orders on the same day. That's what a TikTok user named Caitlin at KShaw1012 said happened to her in a viral clip she posted to the popular social media platform. I'm going to leave our TikTok sponsor profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. I don't think this was out of malice. Like, I feel like you're saying, oh, they called me out twice in the same day, but I think that if I saw that, either I would just acknowledge it and leave it alone and be like, chuckle under my breath, like, that's funny, the situation, but I wouldn't be like,
look at you ordering DoorDash twice in one day.
If anything, drivers would probably think that was awesome because they know the customer. And I'd rather be certain that I'm working with a customer I like and I know is good to me than customers I don't. While some viewers said that they would have been mortified by the response, others didn't seem too perturbed with the prospect of the same delivery driver getting their meals and reaching out to them about it. How do I get the same DoorDasher twice in one night? A text overlay in the TikTok single image post reads, which features an iOS preview notification from the DoorDash driver in question. Yet, I want you to think about this for a second. Would you rather know that's dropping it off is an effective driver that's delivered to you before, or would you rather some rando? Newsflash, a lot of people would rather the certainty. Message from your Dasher. I delivered you guys Jacqueline's earlier, the Dasher wrote. Caitlin appeared to be shocked by the situation, adding in the caption for her post, bruh, got caught lacking in big back activities. Okay, but here's the thing. People think DoorDash in general is a big back activity, right? So would you rather it spread to more people with more random intentions and more random potential things happening? Or would you rather a Dasher that you know is good and treats you good? Conversation surrounding the cost effectiveness of food delivery services like DoorDash have become commonplace, with folks in online forums debating the decadence of purchasing goods via these services. In an ATRL forum comment response, one person replied to a comment about ethics of not tipping drivers after one delivery person for DoorDash returned to a patron's home to knock on the door and call them a loser for not offering up some kind of gratuity. I have seen drivers like that. We've all seen those drivers go viral, and that is not a representation of all drivers. In fact, most drivers prefer contactless in most cases, but in reality, you wouldn't get your order in most cases. It's no tip, no trip. Not no tip, take the order anyway. Not no tip, do the order begrudgingly. Not no tip, get to the customer, deliver the food, and call them a loser to their face. It's no tip, no trip. It's that simple. But I find it interesting that that's the conversation that we suddenly sneaked into this article. Like, literally, that is the most outlandish thing on this so far. How did we go from talking about seeing a driver twice in one day, which is probably a good customer that tips their driver well, and a driver that actually seen you before and is very friendly with you, to talking about tipping your drivers at all? Like, how did we get there? One poster argued that if people want to save money on gratuities, they should simply stock up up on frozen meals at the grocery store rather than ordering delivery from restaurants. I find regularly using these kind of delivery services to be really decadent. Not only are you paying a high price for restaurant food, even if it's just fast food, it's still expensive anymore. You're paying multiple extra fees on top of it, plus the tip if you're not trashy, they wrote. I could see doing it every once in a while, but I know people who do it regularly, and it's like, where do you get the money? And then you find out that you don't actually have that much and are actually struggling with money. But then you keep ordering delivered restaurant food. Like, just stock up on some frozen meals if you're tired. You know, I'm not gonna lie, that is something that I have done personally, and it's actually helped me with my diet. Like, it's not even the fact that the food is not healthy. It's not as healthy at all. But let's be honest, destroying the habit of needing to eat out because you feel as if you have to is the first step in bettering your diet, at least in my opinion. Like, if you get used to just making things at home, you'll start to branch out. Like, I went from eating out every night to going to frozen foods to getting tired of frozen foods. And then I decided to learn how to make a few things at home. Nothing crazy, like I'm not a world-class chef by any means, but at least I'm starting somewhere. One Redditor also talked about the reliance of people starting to have on food delivery services. AndyAndroid7 uploaded a post to the site's Are Autism in Women sub asking, does anyone else rely too much on food delivery, Uber Eats and Doordash, particularly when they are burned out and or depressed? I find it interesting that we are referencing Are Autism in Women. I'm not even trying to be like negative towards it, but I know how comment sections on YouTube can be. And let's be clear right off the bat, this is not about learning disabilities. It's not about drivers and tipping, even though it did come up twice. It's about the prospect of a DoorDash driver recognizing a customer twice. I don't know how we got sidetracked by this so much. The Reddit user also penned that they are constantly installing and reinstalling these applications to control their reliance on them. Although it seems easy, getting dressed then driving as well as taking part in the interaction to order the food and drink can be exhausting. There are many times where I do not have the energy to prepare food, so I often buy pre-made meals, quick snacks, and microwavable meals. However, there are also times when I am having a depressive period or feeling very burned out, and I dread the idea of even leaving my comfort space. Although food delivery services where they leave it at the door are very convenient, it puts a lot of strain on me financially over time. Does anyone else experience this? I do order every now and then when there's a coupon on Uber Eats, and it would end up me spending the same amount of money as if I were to just go get it myself, including the tip. Then I'll order. But in most cases, I just prefer to get it myself. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's why I'm enjoying things like Doordash UberEats and Grubhub so much. I just need that interaction to get the energy that I need. Like, those interactions give me a level of energy if they aren't vampiric and they aren't by people that are sucking the life out of me. But that's a different conversation. But I definitely see why people are like, all right, I'm out of gas. I don't want to talk to people today. I'm just going to order this. I'll have it leave at the door. I'll work on other things. By the time they get there, I'll enjoy my food and relax. Food delivery applications such as DoorDash are seeing tremendous user growth from year to year. Although the service experienced a surge in usage in response to COVID-19, there hasn't been a dip in new users in these services from year to year. DoorDash had 32 million active users in 2022, and in 2023, that number jumped up to 37 million. While tons of users complain about the food and delivery surcharges appended by their DoorDash meals, the application has yet to turn a profit. But with so many people relying on the service, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Yeah, there are so many people that are like,
no, DoorDash is gonna fail in like a month or so.
And you know what? Maybe there's a shot of that actually happening, but it does not seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon. Also, there is a slight correction I need to make on this. In response to COVID-19, the number of orders didn't really pick up that much. The number of orders really picked up was when everyone was getting those stimulus checks for thousands of dollars. And then when people had more money to spend, then that's when things really picked up. One of the busiest seasons for us is actually in the spring, just when all the tax return money starts rolling in that from the W-2s and all that. That's when things really start to pick up. Still, a number of internet users claim to have given up on the application. One Reddit user stated that the constant headaches they experience whenever they place a food order ultimately make the app not worth it. There are so many people that say that. And if you don't like the application, don't use it. There are literally 37 million more people, which a good chunk of them actually tip their drivers. Even if half of them didn't tip their drivers, there's even more than that actually use it, that tip their drivers. We were just fine. Also, another key point on this specifically is that there are orders that come through the platform that aren't necessarily DoorDash users. Things like Easy Cater, retail store delivery, people who are using the applications. Yeah, there are people that play games with tips and don't tip on there too. But there are so many more ways to make money on DoorDash now that it's not just from customers going through DoorDash that it's hardly even worth talking about. I feel like is overlooked when some no-tip haters like to go to my comment section and say things like,
I tip after service.
You know, honestly, I don't know how we got there either. I feel like we went from talking about a driver recognizing a customer twice in one day, to talking about gratuities, to talking about the number of users on the platform, and now we're on dependence on the platform. This has been a wild article so far. Viewers of Caitlin's post said that if they were in her situation, they would be calling it quits on DoorDash for a different reason. This would have definitely fixed my DoorDash spending habits, one person wrote. One commenter who said that they were a DoorDash driver themselves said this isn't all too uncommon of a practice. One day I delivered somebody's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert, lol. Okay, maybe that person needs to freaking relax. Like, I understand if you are ordering like a convenience store order and then a dinner because there was some sort of deal or a coupon or whatever. But breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, what, did you get your groceries delivered through them too? Like, Jesus. Promise you we don't judge. It's nice delivering to places we are familiar with, another said. Yeah, that's 100% true. I would so rather deliver to places I've dealt with, I know are safe, and I know like the back of my hand where people recognize me as a good driver, than people who I don't know much at all. This goes for restaurants too. Like, there are some restaurants that I loved working with for a long time. First Watch was one of them until they got a new manager. What happened when the new manager came in? They tried to treat me like a third-class citizen and tell me to go in the corner. Try to totally segregate me from literally being able to pick up a customer's order from Uber Eats. For one user, the prospect of having the same delivery driver was met with enthusiasm. I get excited getting the same Dasher because there's one that sends me memes and he makes my day better. Oh yeah, there was a TikTok not too long ago that somebody was saying that they get more tips by sending memes claiming that they're on their way or something. That was a while ago. I wonder if he's still doing that. I wonder if he's still sending those memes, if it actually made a difference or if it's not really making that much of a difference at all. That is so funny. I was just making a list of videos I wanted to make, and that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. That is so funny. But either way, that is my perspective of it. You would rather have somebody you know than some rando. No offense to other drivers, but if you know your good customers, would you rather your good customers or a random customer? Your good customers. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. No need to pay me. There you go. This is a very interesting conversation to have. Personally, I think that it is beneficial for not just customers, but for drivers to work with each other if they know each other well as customers and drivers. But that also said, what if, for whatever reason, you felt shame for ordering on DoorDash? Like, you think it's a bad thing to order on DoorDash. First off, if you think it's a bad thing, why are you doing it? Like, you shouldn't feel shame for being hungry. I get that it's expensive, but if you feel bad doing something, don't do it. Like, I feel like if you're not old enough to make those kind of financial decisions or just decisions on your own, then you shouldn't be on the platform, period. But that's not for me to say. Second, most drivers aren't thinking twice you ordering multiple times in a day in most cases. In fact, some customers enjoy the idea that you're delivering to them more and more. However, for me, most of the time, I just do a contactless delivery, take my picture, and dip. Customers don't really think much about that. And it's just smart business in general. All in all, don't feel ashamed. None of us are judging for you ordering multiple times in a day or a couple times a week. It really doesn't matter to us. Especially if you're tipping your driver well, I'm sure that they would love to work with you as many times as both of you choose to be online at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.